This is Derrick Cave. I'm at the main entrance. I'm going to be heading to the lower end of the cave and back. Before I go to the lower end of the cave and back, I'm going to do a loop around the main entrance here. This cave is really cool. It has like 6 entrances. They're all a bit tricky. So notice this is the main tube to the west. There's a way down through there. So this over here is actually the roof of part of the cave. There's also the main tube going that way. I'll be checking that out in just a bit. But first I got to make a quick loop here. Notice there's a tree, at least one tree, growing up there all the way out. It's really neat. So I thought this was high desert, but somebody tells me no, if it's got trees, it's not desert. So anyway, it is kind of dry around here, but yes, there are trees. So there's definitely no desert around here, depending on whom you ask. Anyway. Perfect. So here, there's the main tube going east. Down there is that other entrance I told you about. And then I'm standing on the roof of the main tube, which hopefully I'll be down there in a few minutes. The ground around here is a bit uneven. It's very rocky. Lots of exposed rocks. Lots of trip hazards. Lots of neat animals, little lizards and stuff running around. Alrighty then. So there's those 2 trees. 1 tree. That brown thing there, podium, whatever you call it, it's got a sign-in sheet down there. There's the mystery entrance right there. And then there's the main tube to the east-ish. Actually, I think it's northeast. It's not perfectly even. What's weird, there's some holes here. See, there's a perfectly drilled hole right here. One right here. Whoops. And one right here. So I don't know if there used to be a sign here or a fence or what. I don't remember ever seeing anything here. I just noticed the holes today. But I've seen several rocks with little holes like that around the entrance here. It's not a difficult entrance, so it's not like you would need to rappel down. I'm going to walk right in. That's what I'm going to do. So yeah, interesting. Notice how the ground here is a bit uneven. So definitely watch where you're going, even if you don't plan to attempt to enter the cave. Oops. Oh, that's cool. There's a sensor here. I didn't notice this before. Wonder if it's measuring sound. It just says temper and RH. I'm assuming that's relative humidity. Interesting. Wonder if it's even transmitting live, or if it's just, you know, what's it called? Recording, and they come back once a year or something. This is one of the bigger caves around here, so, you know, probably important to wildlife. Bats. I haven't seen any bats today, but it's entirely plausible. Notice there's no warning signs that I'm standing next to a big hole, so you might have to resort to using your eyeballs and brain to find your way around here. But hold on, let me pan down again. 2 reasons. So there's another one of these holes here. There's another one hole these here. So it seems to me, because of the location, maybe it did used to be a warning sign. Either a warning sign to not fall off the cliff or something like that. Notice down there, the floor seems kind of flat and then it drops off. So there's cave under there that reconnects with the mystery entrance I told you about. So it's it's not a real maze like you get lost, because each of these little bypasses is pretty small. It's still a little bit worth exploring. The main tube is by far the easiest though. The funny part is there's so many entrances. Part of this cave has a lot of light. You won't even need a flashlight. So if for some reason you want to go caving, but you're afraid of the dark, well, this will be a cave to start. Although if you really want to, if you're afraid of the dark, I wouldn't recommend attempting to go caving though. It's kind of silly. All right. Okay, so I'm going to be going through this cave counterclockwise. No, staying to the left to go clockwise. But before I do, let me just show this entrance real quick here. All right, so there's the way I walked down. Not particularly hard or dangerous. A little bit loose rock, just enough to make it worth paying attention. Okay, I'll be doing this part later. But there's main tube here. You can go up there or you can go down there. That's a dead end. And then of course under here, this is not a dead end as long as you're good at crawling. But I'm not gonna go this way. Whoa, yet. Sometimes I stand on a rock, I think it's sturdy. It turns out to be loose rock. I have to be careful not to slip, fall down. Okay, well that's good for this end. Or the middle, this entrance. Notice how thick the ceiling is. They call it overhead, overburden. At the edge is pretty thin, like a foot thick, but farther ahead it's easily 6 feet thick. It's very sturdy. People always make stupid jokes about how they wouldn't want to be here during an earthquake. Well, just because of loose rocks on the floor, that's true. But trust me, the ceiling, it survived thousands of years. It'll survive the next earthquake too. It might be kind of scary being here during an earthquake, but better than being in a city, that's for sure. Pretty sure there's no natural gas pipeline around here. All right, here we go. So now I'm actually inside the cave. As you can see, there's natural light ahead from the next skylight. It wouldn't be safe to climb in or out unless you use ropes, which is completely pointless because there's an easy entrance 10 feet behind me. Notice on the walls there's sort of balconies or benches, ledges, whatever you call them. It's just like, what's the difference between a bridge and a tunnel? It's really the dimensions, if you want to call it a bridge or a tunnel. Oops, didn't mean to keep. There we go. I kept panning up. I didn't mean to do that. Whoops. It's a little bit smoky out. There's a forest fire. It's dozens of miles to the south. I'm not worried about it getting up here. But yeah, the air is a little bit smoky. It doesn't smell too bad. I don't think it's thick enough to be dangerous. You know, I'm obviously not coughing or anything. But yeah, makes the lighting a little bit interesting. Just because I like the lighting for the skylights. I'm trying to take my time through this part. Zigzag around, get lots of point of view. There's not much. This part of the cave is not really that interesting. It's just rock. There aren't really formations, life forms, anything like that. It's just the cave is nice and wide. It's dozens of feet wide, except for some breakdown rock.